flash to blush, her bee-sting lips you scream to kiss.
Voice buttery,
sweet licorice,
dark honey,
gallows Chris,
a witch's brew,
a kind of blue, a darker hue,
a velvety sheen more commonly seen in kings and queens of Eritrea. Sand dunes rippled and spooned in her triple dip, a sliver of a shiver moon tucked into bird's nest hair. She dressed her irregular body type however the focaccia she liked. Silk tights, bowler hats, baseball caps, or the snakeskin boots in which she loved to dance.
She was a buffalo girl in a buffalo stance. Despite her chocolate skin, her hair was ninja,
Touched with a tinge of the ginger, called saffron on account of her red top.
she was a sun, a matchstick, and a name stuck.
She carried it with her through all of her days, heart ablaze, fiery mane cradled by the same rays that once saw Icarus tumbling down from the sky for daring to fly without listening first. And like that mythical sun, she too was filled with unquenchable thirst from a tender age, which saw her drink books, forego TV,
And even leave her family.
for she was intent on learning, and they were content as they were, spending her life as a caged bird, filled with a burning that emerges if your yearnings raged unheard. This was never going to be good enough for her, and so age 16 she scarpered, got on a bus out of town.
Call it a magic carpet.
Over the course of her migration, developed an awareness of her status as an immigrant, learning to straddle that gulf which lies between songs of experience and those of innocence.
At first she was gold, wounded, appalled, and the name she was called.
Painted lady, witch,
Blackbird.
dyke, ginger bitch.
Such is the power of words. Such is the nature of spite. Fear, jealousy, disdain, and anger. They crawl under the skin, the cancer eating us from within.
Ah, saffron. If only you could have known at that tender age that what we focus on grows. That sometimes all of us feel alone. That each of us struggles under the burden of troubles which even the people who love us know nothing about. That though some things in life are indeed bittersweet, you with the heart of a beat, beat of a drum, drum of a stick, pick of the catch, star attraction of that travelling circus of freaks proud. Proud of the idiosyncrasies which set them apart from the crowd. Safi built a thorny fence around her tender molten center, necking pills to dull the senses. Weekends spent on whiskey benders. She'd consider it a success if evenings out ended with her getting laid. But often she'd lie in her bed, curled up and afraid, scribbling love letters to herself on her arm with a blade. Endorphins coursed with every cut. With each puncture wound she deflated, turmoil escaping her skin in a gaseous breath. A slice of enlightenment rising from the ashes of every self-inflicted death.
One downcast day, the sky a concrete slab, a single shade of grey, a bolt of lightning launched the boy that housed her pain. That was the day her daddy left without saying goodbye.
She choked on the words which stuck in her throat when her family wrote that her leaving was the straw that broke the camel's back. loss of his daughter, Jack had slowly slipped away, consumed by entropy and decay until a final fatal heart attack. Saffron and Jack were magnets cut from the same cloth. Put them together and they'd repel. Neither realized that what they despised in each other they nurtured in themselves. She questioned why he couldn't be more loving. He dismissed her as judgmental and stubborn. She tolerated him at a distance, the odd phone call at Christmas or Father's Day. But she loved him with the passion that one can hate a man, so her heart split apart when she heard he had passed away. And so on the evening before his cremation, she took a swig of vodka from the bottle as libation, poured a drop to the earth to wet the teeth of the ancients and called a bus back home.
It was the month of October and the sky glowed. Trees mourned to the breeze, their leaves on fire, blazing, blushing, peach and plum, cherry and ruby, auburn gold. Suburbs set alight in a prelude to the night of Halloween.
When the veil in between angels and demons is diaphanous, gossamer thin as a dream, Safi stood on the verge of a familiar threshold. Surprised that it still fit, she turned the key in the lock of her family home.
A prickling of skin, the past came flooding in. She felt all of her yesterdays unfold. Climbing the stairs, she passed pictures on the wall. Her first day at school, pigtails, big smile, dressed in a pressed uniform.
A Polaroid of her learning to walk. On a windswept beach, her in a mock fur coat, hugging Jack's leg, freezing cold. First floor. She passed her parents' bedroom and then hers. Rested her hand on the knob of the door, but as she started to turn, it changed her mind. There was something to be done before someone else she'd come home to find. She opened the hatch to the attic. Same as it ever was, bar a film of dust. Static born from the charge of memories untouched. A lamp, 2 armchairs, an amp, 2 fat wooden speakers, a pair of headphones, 2 turntables and a microphone. Each wall in the room stacked with records, each disc a map of charcoal black, and every track a journey back towards that sacred place where music marries feeling to thought. It was the one thing over which Safi and her dad had never fought. It was him that introduced her to Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, Michael Jackson, James Brown, and many more men she'd fallen in love with, who'd seduced her with their sound. She thumbed through her father's spells. Her heart began to race every time she pulled another memory of his face from the shelves and placed it on the SL12s.
It was like holding her ear next to a seashell. The smell of his aftershave, cool water drawn from a deep well.
A half-forgotten wave, a kiss, his stroking her hair. It was almost as if he was there. For hours she retraced needle and stylus through dusty grooves of lacquered vinyl. That night she traveled back through time and realized that she wasn't alone. As the music played, she cried and swayed in her father's arms. She found him drowning in the sound of Sylvia Striplin and Grace Jones, Fontella Bass and Nina Simone. Encoded in the static were patterns, bruises emphatically rendered by the musings of sirens who conjured the map of a territory she now began to recall. night she discovered others whose lives had been scored with salt. In her father's record racks, she found a family who had, in their turn, been called bitches, birds, queers, nerds, and other more insidious words. Janis Joplin, Joni Mitchell, Lauryn Hill, Billie Holiday, Anya DeFranco, Patti Smith, Alice Coltrane. And as she uncovered the bedtime lullabies which had taught her, as a child, to break free from the tree of who she was supposed to be, Saffron and her father danced. They rocked the bells to the break of dawn. They shook it like a Polaroid picture. They found the key to that part of their heart which unveils magic and mystery not only in love and in life, but also in loss and in grief.
For the passing of time teaches us so much. There is so much to be learned from living with pain, in watching our loved ones slowly slip away, in quietly sitting while daylight changes to dust. When we die, we never really go away. Our love is transformed into sunlight and storms, and our memories charged us.